there by accident. My friend and I had driven out to a remote nature reserve, one of those places that never makes it into guidebooks. No crowds, no noise, just open land, sun-bleached hills, and the kind of quiet that makes you lower your voice without realizing it. It was beautiful, the kind of beauty that makes you linger longer than planned. By the time hunger caught up with us, there was only one place left to eat, a small cafe near the trail. Its name immediately set me on edge. I won't repeat it. It doesn't deserve the attention. But something about it felt off, like a joke you don't get but know you're the punchline of. We sat down anyway. Almost instantly, a waiter appeared and informed us, far too casually, that any order had to include their signature dish. He didn't explain why. No menu logic, no recommendation, just a rule. At the time, I assumed it was to stop people from taking up tables in such a popular resting area without ordering much. It annoyed me, but not enough to leave. On the tables sat bowls of peaches, oddly decorative, untouched. We ordered grilled fish with salad. Along with it, by obligation, came the signature item, something called the Lula cocktail. Even the name sounded wrong. It was described as a cocktail, so I assumed it was a drink, something to wash the food down. When the food arrived, my attention snapped straight to the cocktail. It was served in a glass. At the bottom sat meat. Actual meat. Drowned in what the waiter proudly described as a sweet and sour garlic sea buckthorn sauce. It looked less like cuisine and more like a dare. We ate the fish first. It was fine, ordinary, safe. Then, against better judgment, we tried the cocktail. The taste was tolerable. Not good, not terrible, just strange enough to make you want to forget it. We paid the bill and stayed seated for another 15 minutes, soaking in the view. That's when my stomach twisted, suddenly, violently. No warning, no negotiation. I ran. The restroom, to my surprise, was paid. Clean, modern, almost luxurious. Someone even warned me about the price before I went in. I nodded, barely listening. At that point, I would have paid anything. I was in there for half an hour. That's when I realized there was no toilet paper, only a bottle of water. I stood there, weighing my options, dread pooling in my chest. Walking out like that wasn't an option. So I used the bottle. I regretted it instantly. I don't know what was in that water, but the pain hit like fire. Like I'd angered some ancient god, and this was my punishment. My skin burned as if I'd been dipped in lava. I actually gasped out loud. Staggering out of the restroom, half blind with pain, I noticed a woman standing at the counter, selling milk. Plain milk, in glasses, for an absurd price. Desperate, humiliated, and out of my mind, I paid. I used the milk. It helped. When I finally made it back outside, my friend was gone. I understood why, without needing to ask. A week later, the cafe was closed. Gone. Shuttered. Vanished. Much later, don't ask how, I managed to track down a former employee. What he told me still makes my stomach turn. The Lula cocktail had been laced with laxatives. The restroom? Expensive by design. No toilet paper by design. The water bottles? Filled with something brutally spicy, something like powdered chili. The bottles weren't transparent, so no one could see the color. People would come out burning, panicked. And then, milk. Overpriced, waiting, perfectly timed. I spent nearly half my monthly salary that day. As horrifying as it was, I couldn't stop thinking about one thing afterward. The cruelty was obvious. The ethics were non-existent. But the plan? Terrifyingly brilliant. What kind of mind does it take to invent something like that and actually make it work?